For the next few minutes, we can just try to actively engage the mind in a contemplation. So first, just try to relax the mind, rest that mind, be aware, and yet be somewhat inwardly focused, not paying too much attention to what's happening around you, or allowing the thoughts to continue on the lines of thinking which take us outward. So as we looked at some of the main obstacles in our spiritual journey are these dualities of Raga-Dvesha, craving or grasping at things, people, situations, circumstances, and rejecting, pushing away, running away from things that is not pleasing. The greed factor which drives us to hold on, take on, and want things distracts us from that peace, from that inner joy, from that pursuit of our own realization of true nature. And that aversion factor in our life makes us run away from our duties, our tasks, even our spiritual sadhana. Like how Arjuna gives up the fight on the battlefield. Every day we tend to sometimes prematurely give up. Not just our duties, but our own spiritual sadhana we give up. We postpone it. Or we feel that somehow that it's not giving us the immediate comfort that we need. So the Lord says, Icha Dvesha Samuttena, Dvandva Mohena Bharata. So where do these arise? How do these come about? Is it just the people or the things outside that causes? The Lord says, Moha. There is this deeper thing of delusion, ignorance, a kind of laziness, you can say. We are deluded because we don't have the right wisdom. We don't have the right teachings. And we are not receptive to the teachings and teachers. Because there's a lot of immediate things we get occupied with. The practicality of life, or the seeming practicality of life, becomes more pressing for us. And so we never resolve this root of the problem. Where do these dualities come from? What is the root of duality? So we can just look at our own experience and see that how this consistent and continued occupation with people, world, situations come about in our life. When we start our day, sometimes we may feel quiet, peaceful. And then as we go about, we get caught up And we blame the outer situations of our life, not recognizing that this delusion, which is sitting right in us, in our hearts, this lack of awareness, this lack of vigilance, and this unwillingness to abide in the wisdom, trust that wisdom, hold on to that wisdom. And most importantly, unwillingness to abide in this beingness and get caught up in the doingness. So when we look closely into our own experience of life, we see that there is this unshakable, somewhat neutral awareness or the witness. We don't need to necessarily stop everything to become aware of that. Although every now and then it helps to do that, but there's not always having to sit, stop, but to change our vision from where do we see life unfolding. Does it unfold on that battlefield of our life? Is that Kurukshetra outside? Or does it arise with the arising of a thought, a feeling, an emotion, and then sucks the whole of us into that movement of energy outward? The Sankhya philosophers said us the Purusha is always peaceful. That pull of Prakriti comes and sweeps Purusha away. Similarly, the consciousness is pure, ever complacent, without any craving, without any aversions, just allowing things to be as it is. And yet, every now and then, we get sucked into the life and lose this awareness of our true nature. Once, now that we have this wisdom, this vision, we can try to just see right now for the next few minutes as you're established in this beingness. Can you just allow the thoughts, perceptions to come and go on its own without having to invest or get identified with them? Just try to see that for a few minutes, how you can hear things, smell things, and even allow thoughts, memories to come. But just watch it as though it's happening somewhere in the distance, somewhere where it doesn't touch you as the pure beingness. Every time we try to become aware and abide in this awareness, we realize that it's not always an easy process. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. But as the knowledge establishes, it's no longer that much of a battle. As the knowledge and that faith in that wisdom, faith in that divine being, and taking refuge in that Lord and the teachings, when we become like completely determined that this is the higher path, this is the reality, then naturally we are able to engage in the world but yet not get sucked into it. So the Lord says, Dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So the ones who are free from these dualities of aversion, craving, and the dualities of likes and dislikes. So the ones who are free from that have determinedly taken refuge in that beingness, in that supreme reality. That which is accessible every moment, right here, right now. So we can take a last minute just to express our deep devotion to that reality, to that supreme being, to our own inner abiding self. And sense of gratitude to all the forces in nature, the people, the circumstances that bring us to this wisdom, to this pointings of reality. And to shift our priorities on this sense of gratitude, that sense of devotion is a very useful practice. Okay, with that, we can say our closing prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.